Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to CryoFX and our YouTube channel here. Today's video is on cold spark machine powder. Not cold spark powder, cold spark machine powder, otherwise known as cold spark granules or cold spark machine granules. Enough with the keywords already. Let's get into the subject topic. So, you guys want to know what's up with this cold spark powder? Well, a couple of things that you need to be aware of is different machines are going to take different types of powder. Getting right into the cold spark machine powder, you have a couple different options. Don't look at the options that I'm going to show you here just with the casings. The options differ based on the powder itself. I'll have you come up, the cameraman, in a minute and show you, but not right now. What we're going to be doing is looking at the different types of granules. Now, these cold spark machine granules or cold spark machine powder, whatever you want to call it, has different sizes. You might not see it with the naked eye, but the different sizes actually do make a difference. There's normally three types of sizes. You have very small, you have small, and then you have regular size, if you want to call them sizes. However, looking at this package here, this says medium. These granules are actually more ground up than, say, something in this pack or another one of the packs. Again, you're not going to notice the size, but how this basically works is this. The different size granules, when they're put in the machine heats them up, and then the machine blows it out the top. What ends up happening is those are heated up to a certain temperature, and as they blow out, what's going to happen is they're basically lit. They're not ignited, but let's just say, like when you're grinding a piece of metal, that piece of metal gets hot, it glows. It's almost like, not like an ember, but it glows. Let's just say it glows. So they glow for a certain period of time. The larger the granules, the more they're going to glow. Therefore, the smaller the granules, the less they're going to glow. So what that means is when you have smaller granules or medium-sized granules, you're going to get a medium output because they're only glowing a certain amount after the machine spits it out, and then they burn out and they stop glowing. The larger ones are going to glow longer, therefore you get a higher stream of sparks. So after we've already explained that, let's dive into actually what these granules are all about. Some of you may have sparkular machines. Some of you may have sparktacular, Phoenix. There might be a couple of other ones out there. iSparkFX, of course, is another brand. And of course, there's a bunch of other ones. I'm drawing a blank on it right now. But for the sake of the video, let's just go into these. So what are the differences? Now, you have the cards. Why are the cards, as they fall out of the pack? You have the cards. What makes the difference on the cards? Now, if you don't know this, you could skip to farther in the video. If you already do know this, you could skip farther in the video. If you don't, let's jump in and just talk about this real quick. The cards put the time on the machine. So the cards actually activate the machine for a period of time. The granules is what the machine heats up and spits out of the machine. If you didn't have the mechanism of these time regulation on the machine, then you would just be able to keep putting granules in and keep spraying these granules out. However, the manufacturers want you to come back to them. They want to make sure that you use the right type of granules in there because these granules can be made up of different composites. That on another video. And they want to make sure that they regulate the granules and that you don't just go buy them for somewhere else. Now, with that said, the machine typically will burn through a pack like this in 12 to 15 minutes. So a card, when scanned onto the machine, will put 12 to 15 minutes on the machine. You notice the error there. It can't put 12 or 15 minutes. It has to put one or the other. So typically these cards will put, depending on the machine, 12 or 15 minutes of time on the machine. Now, if you look back at the conversation here, you can scrub the video back if you want, or just take my word for it. These will burn out after 12 to 15 minutes. So clearly there's going to be a lag time if this card puts 15 minutes on the machine and this burns out after 14 minutes, or vice versa. The card puts 15 minutes on the machine, this burns out after 12. You get the point here. So you're not always going to have these match up. What I'm saying is after you scan 3 or 4 cards, you're probably going to have extra granules, or you might have extra time on the machine. Therefore, you can get other packs of granules from CryoFX for your machine. We stock all different brands, and then you can just use that pack of granules without a card in the machine to equal out the amount of time that's on the machine. So, after all of that said, that's a lot of information, but it's information that you need to know. With the different machines take different cards. You have these plain cards. Then you have the sparktacular black cards. Then you have the sparktacular white cards. As you can see, lots of sparktacular white cards. Well, there's a lot of different cards that go to different machines, and you need to make sure that the machine and the card match up. You can't just get any card because the manufacturer has different RFID patterns and codes on that. Patterns is the layman's term, codes is the more official term. So with that said, smaller machines, sparktacular minis, take the mini packs. These mini packs are actually going to be 3 to 4 minutes. So the card is going to put 3 to 4 minutes on the machine. This is not a sparktacular machine. This is an iSparkFX machine, or Granules is one of the other ones. However, these will match up with just that sparktacular mini machine. You can't use these with a regular sparktacular machine, so you have to notice that. Now, granules like this will work with iSparkFX Mini, Granules Mini, or Gear Mini, whatever they go by, and of course some of the Phoenix and the iSparkFX, things like that. Now, regular Spark machines take these white cards and they take larger packs of granules. Of course, they may or may not say sparktacular on the pack of granules themselves. So with all that said, you have to be aware that the granules must be treated accordingly. We're going to cover all that here because the number one thing that happens is when people bring these back or they have a complaint, either they leave the granules in the machine and the granules get packed down, which, think of sand. If sand gets packed down, this is packed down and I can't bend this packet. This is not packed down and the packet bends easily. So when it's packed down, it won't go in the funnel. We have another video that talks about how a spark machine works. This video is not about that. It's cold spark machine powder. So other links will be in the description if you want more information on some of these other videos that we have, or you can look at the YouTube channel here. Now, with that said, you have to make sure that after you use the machine, you open the machine, you dump the granules out into a case, preferably like this, or a bowl or something else, and then you put it back into a bag. We store extra granules here like this. Of course, the bag is sealed and we take all the air out. Now, this is what the granules look like. We try to keep them separate. And all of that is safekeeping and good upkeep, because if you don't do that, these are going to get humidity in them. They're going to get wet and they're going to clog your machine. So if you don't follow these procedures, you're going to get a clogged machine. If you leave the granules in the machine, you're going to get a clogged machine. If you don't empty the granules out, which is leaving them in the machine, you're going to get a clogged machine. And if you move the machine around with granules in it, you're probably going to get a clogged machine because they're going to compact down. We have other videos that talk about how to clean a cold spark machine, the cleaning process for a cold spark machine and all that. But I just wanted to give you an overview on these items here and cold spark machine granules. Cold spark machine powder is what people call it, because you do have to be aware of this stuff. So I'll have you come up and actually show you what this powder looks like. So as you can see here, it looks like sand. It really just looks like sand. That's it. Now, this is only open here to show you guys what this looks like. Otherwise, it's going to be going right back in the bag because I don't want to have that get any moisture on it or any other issues. If you want to do a close-up of some of these items here, this is what they look like. Now, as the video rolls, I can keep talking as I've been doing a lot of on this video so far. With these cards, they're a one-time use. So unfortunately, once you scan this card against the machine, you can't use it again. The card is basically trash. You throw the card out and that's it. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact us, CryoFX.com, CryoFX.com, or leave a comment on the YouTube video. Let us know what your thoughts are if you have any additional questions, and we'll be sure to answer those. I'm Chris, this is CryoFX, and this video is on cold spark machine powder, otherwise known as cold spark machine granules for the official term. On the next video, we'll see you later.